Hello all, welcome to my video. In this particular video, I am actually going to share you some of the LinkedIn articles which I have written pertaining to the field of data science in IT projects. Okay, so before I get into the crux of this particular video, let me quickly introduce about myself. My name is Balaji and I have somewhere close to 24 years of experience in IT and somewhere close to 14 years of experience in agile driven engagements. I have played multiple roles in the past. Now for the past few years I am actually working on the actually one of the important initiative, like actually the merger of agile CoE with DevOps CoE together with the enterprise AI CoE. So as part of this particular journey, I actually got some experience to work on the data science projects in IT. So in this particular video, I am actually going to walk you through some of the LinkedIn articles, whatever I have written pertaining to the artificial intelligence, pertaining to the machine learning, deep learning, and also generative AI, and also to the data science field in IT projects or engagements. Okay, that is the context of this particular video. So with this particular understanding, let me go ahead and then share my screen. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn profile, right? LinkedIn.com/IN Balaji T Balaji T 623 A1B18. So here, if I go to my articles, so what am I going to do for now is I will actually begin with the basic articles and then I will slowly try to shift the gear, like in terms of the complexity of the learning. Okay. So I'm actually going to pick up one of the simple article what I have written in the field of data science. From there we will begin the journey. 1 minute. Okay, so let me actually begin it from here. Okay, I'm just trying to open it in a new tab. Okay, so this is an article pertaining to basics of the data science and how it is used in a real-time situation. Okay, so let me actually tell you some of the basics. Okay, so what are you really trying to do in the field of data science? You are trying to understand the pattern of the data from the source of the data, of course, and then trying to see, okay, is there any correlation, is there any interdependence between the data, so that once I understand that particular nitty-gritties or the subtle nuances of the interdependence and the pattern of the data, probably I can try to build a model for me to make some kind of a futuristic predictions, or rather futuristic projections, of course within the limitations or constraints of the particular ecosystem. That is what you are trying to do. And to do this, definitely you need to understand the business problem, right? Whenever you are trying to create a simple AI model, if you look into this particular article, I have actually clearly mentioned what are the high level steps involved, right? For example, define the problem, define the business challenge or the problem for which you are trying to build a solution. And then you may need to collect the data, like collect the raw data from multiple sources. Probably you can probably the sources could be internal to the client database, or the sources could be some of the third party API services too. So, and then you may need to prepare the data. Why? Because with the raw data, you cannot really jump on directly to build directly to build a model. So you may need to collect the data, you may need to clean the data and pre-process that data so as to make it suitable, for a further analysis. And then you may need to choose a model, right? For example, you have multiple machine learning algorithms, okay, so which I'm going to cover in the subsequent articles. So I'm not getting into it in a very detailed manner for now. And then you may need to train the model, you need to evaluate the model, you need to deploy the model, you need to evaluate, monitor and evaluate the model. And based on the output results that particular your model gives, you may need to fine tune the model, right? You have something called hyperparameter tuning and all. So the point that we need to keep in mind is, be it a machine learning, be it a deep learning, be it a neural network, be it a generative AI, be it the concept of a data science, ultimately all that you are trying to do is you are trying to build a AI model. You are trying to build an artificial intelligence model which will help you to make some kind of a critical decision making for the given set of new input parameters. This is what you are actually trying to do. Now, depending upon the context, depending upon the limitations, depending upon the constraints of the ecosystem, depending upon so many other parameters, we have something called supervised learning, unsupervised learning, something called reinforcement learning. And then based on the type of the learning, the algorithms will be chosen, and other things will be done. Okay, something like that on a very high level. Okay, now in this particular thing, what are some of the real time examples? For example, right, predicting the sales for a e-commerce, predicting the sales for a no for a example, Amazon or a Flipkart. If I want to predict the sales projection, particularly during the festive seasons and all, then probably I can analyze the sales data in the past and try to build a model, which is a very simple model, because the degree of variability or variations will be in a very controlled manner compared to some other business, some other business use cases. So in the world of data science, we call this as a use case. Whatever business problem you are trying to solve, right, we actually use the term called a use case. That is the first you need to define the problem. Okay, now these are all some of the examples. Okay, so while I'm going to upload this particular video, I will be uploading all the links of this particular LinkedIn article so that you can go through it offline. In this, I'm just trying to socialize you to multiple LinkedIn articles of mine pertaining to data science at a very high level. Okay, now let us go one by one. One of the simplest way to master any subject is, you need to know what is the input, you need to know what is the output or outcome expected by doing something, and the third thing is, what is that particular something or the process which will take your input and give you the desired output or a envisaged outcome, right? Be it an agile, be it a data analytics, be it your big data, Hadoop, whatever be the subject, right? The way to learn the subject, one of the way to learn the subject and one of the way to master the subject is, let's be clear on four things, or rather five things, right? What am I trying to do? Why am I solving this problem in the first place? And what am I trying to do? Then, for me to solve this particular business case, are there any prerequisites? Are there any precursor activities which I need to keep in mind, which will enable me or facilitate me to solve this particular use case? Then, what is the input? What is the process applied? What is the output? Okay, now why am I telling you this? That is how I have written this particular LinkedIn article. Okay, for each of the real time the situations or examples, I have given input, process, output, and in below I have also given my WhatsApp group URL. If in case you are interested to become part of my WhatsApp group pertaining to data scientist role, you can might as well click on this group and then join it. Okay, now what I'm going to do, now I'm going to go to the next article, because see, respecting your years of experience and your common awareness, I'm not going to go through this article line by line in a verbatim manner. I'm just trying to socialize you on a very high level. Okay, maybe in the forthcoming videos we'll be taking one by one, like the competencies, like your Python, then your machine learning, and then your TensorFlow, whatever it is, and then we will deep dive into it piece by piece. Okay, now I'm just closing this. I'm just closing, or I'll just go to, I'm just closing this, and then I will try to take the next article now. Okay, see here, these articles are a combination of agile and data science, but because this is a YouTube video exclusively for data science, I'm actually picking up selective articles from the data science world. Okay, now before I get into other things, let me open up this particular article so that you can get to know the context, right? So here you see this particular diagram, right? I have also called out the image credit source for it. You have your artificial intelligence, you have your machine learning. See, so in theory, deep learning is called as a subset of a machine learning. But from my pragmatic and practical experience, deep learning is an advanced version of a machine learning, which is using the concept of a neural networks. Okay, a very similar to the brain, the way the human brain reads and then understand the things from the real world. That is the concept of a deep learning. And a subset of a deep learning is a generative AI. Okay, so the moment you go through this article, no, you will come to know. Okay, see here, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to give you some real-time examples, right? Predictive maintenance in IT infrastructure, which is one of the example. In that, again, you need to repeat these things like your data collection, your data pre-processing. Then you have something called feed, which I'm going to cover in the next article in terms of the life cycle of the data science, but still I'm just trying to cover it on a high level here. You have, you're collecting the data, you need to pre-process the data. So why do you need to pre-process the data? Because for me to do a feature engineering, I cannot consume the raw data as it is. My raw data is not actually deemed fit for me to consume it into the funnel of a feature engineering, for me to do further exploratory data analysis. We have a concept called the exploratory data analysis, and we have a concept called the curse of dimensionality, and to overcome it we have a concept called dimensionality reduction, right? And then you may need to choose a suitable machine learning algorithm to create a model, and then you need to train the model, you need to evaluate the model, of course you need to deploy the model. Only then it will start yielding no business value to the end users. But then, irrespective of the use case, right, be it a predictive maintenance for IT infrastructure or an IT support ticket classification, the concepts remain the same by and large. Okay, the same sequence of activities will be repeated, of course with an appropriate feedback loop. It's not like a waterfallish kind of a mentality. Okay, that's what I am actually trying to tell. So go through this particular article, you will try to understand at least on a high level. See, for some people who are very beginners in this particular data science field, is while you are going through the article, you may not come to know exactly each and every line, but at least you will come to know what I know clearly, what I don't know clearly. Okay, knowing the unknown is a very important part of the learning process. If you don't even know what you don't know, then how are you going to take a grip on the subject, right? That is the first step. So just go through this article. Here I have given on a high level the context behind the machine learning, deep learning, generative AI, and some of the real-time examples where these concepts have been used. Okay, now with this understanding, now let us try to get into the life cycle, data science life cycle. I'm just looking out for a particular article. Okay, let me take this particular article. Okay, this is the complete life cycle of a data science project. Probably you can just take few seconds to look into the look into this particular diagram. It is going to tell what are the stages of a data science life cycle project, which I actually explained to you, right, in some of the beginning articles. Define and understand the problem. Okay, I understood the problem. Okay, let us take an example. What could be the problem? For example, for one of my US based client, that particular client came to me is, a couple of years ago, and then said that, hey babe, hey Balaji, I have a challenge, like in terms of projecting my futuristic revenue patterns for a particular business vertical. So the client said me that, can you come up with some kind of a predictive model, maybe whether you use the concepts of data science or any artificial intelligence, or whether you build a simple regression equation, no, a linear regression equation using the Excel formulas, your line of best fit or curve of best fit. All that I wanted to do is, I wanted to see, considering these input parameters, and my responsibility is also to identify the input parameters, and then to build a model which will give the futuristic quarterly revenue projections at a product line, or at an LOB level, or at a product group, or at a portfolio level. So what is the problem there? The problem there is, because in one of my forthcoming articles I'm going to cover that too, but then I'm just trying to use this article to socialize you the high level, that flow, so that you can map it or juxtapose those concepts when we look into a real-time use case. So what are we trying to do? The business problem or the business use case is that I wanted to do a futuristic revenue projection for one of my client. Fine. Because business, see, understand one thing, business always expects predictability. Okay, that's why these people come to us to have some kind of a projections, no, revenue model, some kind of an artificial intelligence model which will project the revenue. Okay, now what happens here? That is the problem. I need to collect the data based on the past. Okay, based, see, for me to build a model, I need to be very clear on the past and the present. Only then future can be predicted, right? So for me to do it, I still need to look into the past 18 months or past 20 months revenue uh, patterns, where it took a dip, for what reason. So I may need to have some calls with the functional SMEs also. See, in this case, it's an internal project, but when you're working on a real-time data science project exposed to the public cloud, you need to have discussions with so many diversified target groups. You may need to have discussions with so many um, diversified user personas. That's what I'm trying to tell. It could be a product owner, it could be a product manager, it could be a project manager, it could be an enterprise architect, it could be a DevOps lead or a DevOps process consultant. Why? Because those guys are actually going to help you to build your CI/CD pipeline, right? Of course, you will still try to bring in your MLOps concepts, all those things, but still your basic Git and also GitHub need to be in the place, right? So I may need to collect the data based on the previous patterns, and I cannot consume the data as it is. So I do a data cleansing or a cleaning, or technically called a pre-processing, or exploratory data analysis, feature engineering. Then I will go on to the stage of building a model, deploy the model, and then evaluate the model, monitor the model, get the feedback, and then take it as a loop. So this is the life cycle of a data science project. So I have explained it here. Simple English. And we have used the deployment, the moving it to the prod deployment. We have made use of a Flask framework. Okay. So just go through this article. You will understand it on a high level at least, though not word by word. Okay. So let us keep the ball rolling with a sustained momentum. Let me now try to socialize you to some other article along the similar line of uh, thought. See, all these articles are my own articles. Okay, that's why I'm making this particular YouTube video, socializing you to my LinkedIn articles, typically for a data science. Of course, you have umpteen LinkedIn articles on agile, whatever I have written, beginning from 2020 to till date, almost 4.5 years, more than 4.5 years by the time I'm making this particular video. But these articles are typically from a data science perspective. Okay, now Okay, now let us go through this, right? See here, understand this particular diagram. I'm collecting the data and cleaning the data or cleansing the data or whatever it is, you use the term. Data engineers play a role here. Whereas cleaning, exploratory data analysis, in some companies, data analyst, some companies, data analysts do it, but sometimes, or rather in many cases, data scientist will guide the data analyst to do all these things. Because I have seen in from my experience, a lot of people who claim to be data analysts from the beginning days of the journey are not that competent to actually work in a real time complex project. Maybe they have completed some course, or maybe they have enrolled in some online programs of data science, or they watched a few YouTube videos and then somehow cleared the interview and then got the job. All that I'm trying to say is, at least in the first two projects, execute the project so that your knowledge becomes pragmatic now. Because what you got is a raw knowledge, right? It cannot be directly implemented in the project. You need to fine tune the knowledge with an element of pragmatism, right? So there comes the role of a data scientist to even guide the data analyst. See, understand one thing: a data scientist can play the role of a data analyst, but not vice versa. Okay. Okay. Now, your machine learning engineers will come in EDA, building the model and then deploying the model, and your data scientist is going to cut across all these particular flavors. Okay. Now, here I have written the roles. Okay, client, business analyst. I told you some time ago, right? You may need to interact with multiple diversified target groups or user personas. So from that particular perspective, uh, data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, data architect. Okay, machine learning engineer, analytics manager, data scientist, everything I have mentioned over here. And once again, that particular life cycle of a data science I have put over here. Okay, so see here, people have responded to this to my article, right? 18 people have given a thumbs up, 17, 18 people have given a thumbs up. People have written some comments to the articles. So whenever you are going through my articles, please make sure that you also go through the comments written to those articles by some other people, and also look into the response what I gave to them, to the respective uh, comments. Okay, now let me cover the let me cover the next article: enterprise AI CoE. Okay. See, some of you might have worked on agile projects, right? So probably in your company you may have something called as a agile CoE, agile center of excellence, right? Along the similar line of thought, for some of my clients, I have helped them to come up with something called enterprise AI CoE. Okay. By the way, this is the next article. So in this video, I'm just opening up one by one articles and then trying to socialize you on a high level, so that after watching this particular video, when you start reading the articles, you may resonate with me in a better manner. It is as if I have came to your home and then trying to teach you how to connect my article and how to gain the maximum, derive the maximum benefit out of it by through this particular YouTube video. Okay, right? So what are we trying to do, and why are we trying to do even that in the first place, right? Why do we need to have an enterprise AI CoE? Because at an organization level, you may still need a formal body to actually to be held responsible and accountable for driving the AI initiatives. Okay, so it is like a centralized body which will define the AI strategies, some of the best practices, some of the trends in the tools, and ensures that your AI projects also aligns with the bigger umbrella, means your organizational goals and capabilities. Okay, so for one of my client, I was actually heading that particular initiative of merging the agile CoE, DevOps CoE, and AI CoE. And I was fortunate enough, because of that particular opportunity, I was working in multiple data science projects in IT. Okay, that is why I'm able to write these articles out of that particular experience. So when I go through this, you can understand why do we need a AI CoE. I have mentioned everything here. Of course, from my perspective, whatever thoughts came to my mind on the day when I wrote this article. Okay, so I let's say I wrote this article on August 16th, 2024. I am making this video on 14th October 2024. So on the day when I was writing this article, whatever thoughts came to my mind based on at that time's experience in terms of enterprise AI CoE, I have put over here and how to set it up on a high level. See, everything needs to be customized, everything need to be contextualized, every solution or a capability need to be personalized. We don't have any second thought to that. But for you to customize, for you to contextualize, for you to personalize something for your client, you need the basic capability and the foundational knowledge. If you don't even have that foundational knowledge and the capability, on top of what are you going to customize, right? So these LinkedIn articles will expand your horizons you of thinking, will actually expand your like your awareness about artificial intelligence and connecting the dots on a high level. At least where does artificial intelligence fit in the entire gamut of like your data science and machine learning, deep learning, generative AI, and you also have something called the large language models, LLM, right? So connecting the dots may happen later, but still you need to see the dots, right? Both literally and metaphorically. So from that perspective, these articles will help you. And here I have also written the roles and responsibilities of the enterprise AI CoE. What are the different roles? What are the different responses? How to measure the success, and what are the benefits of the enterprise AI CoE? Okay, so once again I have given my WhatsApp group both for agile and data science. You can click on this link and then join the WhatsApp group. It will come to me once I approve it. You can be part of those WhatsApp group where we have that continuous learning and continuous improvement initiatives going on. Okay, over there, because by by becoming part of this WhatsApp group, you are entering inside my world. That's what I'm actually trying to tell. Okay, now let me go to the next article. Right, so I'm just trying to open one by one and let's just quickly try to give a high level view. Okay, let's look into this article. So what is this particular article? I have shared my experience on how to build a AI model for predicting quarterly revenue margins for a IT company. Okay, this is something which I have done for one of my client. So without exposing the actual the AI utilities and other plugins and all, I have just mentioned it on a very high level because this is a video which is going live on a social media platform like YouTube, right? So as I mentioned previously, this is the business problem. Understood that this is the business use case. Now, what are the inputs to the AI model? These are all the inputs. Okay. I have given 9 inputs for now. Here, because see, understand one thing. Output is equal to input plus process by and large. So your input also need to be as correct as possible, as complete as possible, as holistic as possible, and the process should be robust enough to take these inputs, do some magic on the way, and then give you the desired output or envisaged outcomes, right? So these are the inputs. And what is the process? Again, the same process what I mentioned, but only thing we are going little bit deep now. How am I going to do the data pre-processing? I have mentioned the tools for each and everything. Your data collection and cleaning followed by tools, data pre-processing followed by tools, your model training, your model selection, your model training, your model validation, then your deployment. How are you going to maintain it? Okay, and if you build this model, what will be the output or outcome of the model, and how to use agile here, agile as a methodology to build the software. I have mentioned it over here. Okay, so So what you need to do is, for now you are just trying to know the subject, right? You pause this video and then take these terms, like use ETL tools like XYZ, whatever the name. And for a data processing, I have mentioned pandas, numpy, visualization tools like a matplotlib or a tableau. You can even use a power BI also. Then you try to do a Google search on these individual terms and get to know the subject. Okay. Then what you need to do, for example, here I have written some of the machine learning algorithms like XGBoost. So at least do a high level search and then try to understand what is this particular XGBoost, where it can be used, and most importantly, why. That is how you slowly pick up the subject, so that these terms do not appear as Greek and Latin to you after few weeks from now, provided you continue the journey to learn the subject. Of course, if you wanted me to mentor you in terms of learning this data field, probably you can think about enrolling my data science mentorship program also, which most probably, I'm not sure about the availability of my bandwidth for now, but data science mentorship program is planned to be started in January 2025, depending upon plus or plus 1 or 2 months here and there, depending upon my bandwidth and availability. So go through this particular model, so that while you are creating an AI model for some other use case, this LinkedIn article will come as a handy reference to you. That's what I am actually trying to tell you people. See, in this particular journey, I will be an improvement enabler, but you people need to improve by assimilating the subject. Okay. All right. So let us go to the next article. So similarly, I have written here, what are the emerging use cases? What are the emerging use cases in the data science for IT engagements? I have actually put over here. Okay. So here I have given some examples. See, AI driven cybersecurity, predictive maintenance for IT infrastructure, customer behavior analytics, IT service management automation, using data driven decision making for IT project management. These are all some of the emerging use cases in data science for IT engagements. Okay, so go through this particular article. All these links will be shared in the description and also in the comment section of this particular video. And here I have some real-time templates, right? I have written this article saying that these are all the real-time templates used by me in a data science projects, right? For all these phases, I have my data science templates which has been built. Okay, what is the content? I'll just show you the templates, not a problem. I'll just show you the template. I should have been having it somewhere here. Yeah. So here, if you see data collection and understanding, now the same thing, right? I have mentioned it over here, right? For example, now let us take this data preparation and cleaning. Templates used is data cleaning checklist, data transformation template, data pre-processing plan. So you go here under data preparation and cleaning. I have these three templates. I also given the context over here. Now, if I get into this particular template, for example, I'm saying, okay, you can see the checklist which I have created and then kept it ready. Right now, why this column is blank? Because the value to the variable will come from the project. That's why I have kept it blank. See, while I'm taking an interview for a data scientist and a senior data scientist role, whenever I am asking some of the questions, right, some people have that mentality to tell, like it all depends on the context. Fully agreed, but the point to be kept in mind is, it all depends on the context in terms of what particular factors or parameters or attributes. Okay, that at least you need to tell. For example, if I'm going to interview you for a senior data scientist role, which I'm currently doing. Okay, now if I'm asking you, okay, can you tell me if you need to prepare a data cleaning checklist, what are all the what are all the attributes you will be trying to put in that particular checklist? At the time, you cannot just like that tell. It all actually depends on the context. You need to tell these points, right? Data understanding and assessment, and how to handle missing value, data type conversion, how to remove the duplicates, how to handle the outliers. These are the variables. Of course, the value to the variable will come from the project. Now, if I just put A and C, you cannot understand what is this. So I have created a B column to explain you what is this. Okay, simple and very straight to the point. Okay, so I'm just, because I just wanted you to show you that real time no real time templates what I created, and I also have one sheet for data science uh, algorithms. Right, if I have these are the commonly used algorithms and what is the strength and the limitations of these particular algorithms. Of course, all these materials are part of my data science mentorship program DSMP, but still I just thought to show it over here to you people. Okay, now let me close this. Let me stay focused to get into the, continue the article. So that is how I have written for all the what is the templates used, what are the contents within the contents, what is the input process, output or outcome, and then know how do you factor in the feedback loop. So I wanted you to go through this particular article also if you are very serious in expediting your career trajectory in data science. Okay. Mm, okay, so let me take this particular use case now. Okay, this is a use case which is actually going to tell how to solve a use case for a multinational retail corporation. For a retail corporation, what is the use case? Dynamic inventory management and demand forecasting for some company. It could be Amazon or Flipkart or whatever it is, global supply chain. Okay, or even Cisco, whatever it is. I'm just giving you some closest examples. Okay, now what am I trying to do? I am trying to see what is the what is that effective demand management in terms of the inventory, and how do I need to project the thing for the future so that my sales will be taken care, right? So here once again I have put all these things like data pre-processing, data collection, integration, model development, model training, evaluation. So here I'm going little bit inside the subject. Okay, how do you evaluate the model? Evaluate model using metrics like XYZ. I have mentioned the actual metrics being used when I did it in the past. Okay. If you maybe if the context changes, the things will change. For the same context, if you go to some other coach or a mentor or some other data science expert, he or she may give a different perspective to it, which I never deny. I am just sharing my experience over here in terms of this LinkedIn article. So the point to be kept in mind is once you understood the data science life cycle, all that you need to do is while you are executing a real-time use case project, where am I there in that particular life cycle? And what will be the next step from here? What was the previous one? From here, what I need to do to go to the next step? I think those aspects you may need to keep in mind. Okay. So just go through this particular article on a high level. Okay, now I think we are almost done, apart from one or two more. And also, I have written some articles on feature engineering in a very detailed manner. And these articles are a bit important. Okay, what are the 10 skills needed for a data scientist? Okay, I have just put on a very high level. Okay, so you could just go through this and why it is needed And I'm also giving a real-time example for each of this particular capability, because you need to know from a real-time perspective, why am I doing this, how it is getting connected to the overall big picture, right? And some tools or applications or libraries or packages which is being used, and most importantly, how to the art of storytelling. Okay, so I will come back on that, but before that, I'm just seeing what are the other two. Okay, okay, these are all other agile articles. Okay, okay, so this is the art of storytelling, because see, it's been written over here. See, data without a story is just a bunch of numbers. Correct? See, when I was doing my executive MBA, and I also did my advanced strategic management program in Indian Institute of Management, IIM Kozhikode. So one of my professor used to tell, it is not enough if you know how to read a balance sheet. You also need to understand the narrative or the storyline behind the numbers. Then only what you can do is you can correlate or corroborate the insights or inferences from the balance sheet with other with other financial aspects. No, you have your assets, liabilities, your revenue, your top line, your bottom line, your cash inflow, and your equity. So you need to know the narrative or the workflow or the storyline behind the numbers. Only numbers are not going to give you the that particular business acumen while you are talking to a person. So you need to prepare you need to prepare a narrative or a workflow, and then keep it ready. So I am here giving some of the examples. Okay, if the use case is a predictive maintenance in a retail IT project, then probably what is my data science journey in that, and how does the storytelling element needs to be put over there. So this article is a very, very important article. Just go through this, because ultimately understand whether it's a machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, generative AI, large language model, whatever it is, all that you are trying to do is by and large only three things. Either you are trying to solve a pain point or a problem to your customer, or you are trying to improve the process effectiveness, efficiency, and the user experience, or you are trying to do something from a compliance or a regulatory mechanism from a governance perspective. Correct? So anything that you are trying to do can be categorized into these three buckets. So if you are not resonating with the user persona or the target group, then whatever the MLOps model or whatever you are trying to do should ultimately yield business value to them. If not, then how are you connecting the dots? From that perspective, this this particular article is a very important one. Just go through this particular article. Okay. So here I have written, storytelling bridges the technical and business gap. Business understanding is crucial. Interviewers seek holistic thinkers, not just technical experts when it goes for a data scientist role, right? Okay. Then here I have given some kind of a top 5 challenges which data scientists face in IT projects, and most importantly, how to overcome them. You have your data quality issues, then what could be the solution? Lack of domain knowledge, what could be the solution? Then in terms of your communication improvement, your scalability and deployment issues, and in terms of managing your stakeholder expectations. See, in an interview, it's more of a commonsensical. Whenever the interviewer is asking you what are the challenges you have had, you also need to tell how did you overcome that particular challenges, right? Then the second thing, if you are applying for a data analyst role, and if someone is asking you a challenge, you need to tell an appropriate level challenge. Similarly, if they are asking you at a data scientist role, whatever challenge you are trying to tell there should resonate with the role which is being applied over there. For that you need to have a very good grip on the subject. First of all, you, for any subject for that matter, if not, then you will not tell an appropriate challenge level, and the interviewer can easily find it out. An experienced interviewer can easily find it out the way you talk, because if you know the subject, your positive vibe itself will actually echo for you. If not, you always have that oscillation, that kind of a oscillation mindset, what to tell, what not to tell, how to tell. If you have a very good grip on the subject, the flow will be natural. That's what I'm trying to tell you people. Okay. So just go through this particular article also. All right. So just to summarize, before I end this particular video, in this particular video, I have socialized you to some of my LinkedIn articles, whatever I have written, and also one thing before we wind up, I have also written an article on a data science playbook. Okay, for IT projects and engagement. See, what is a playbook? It is like a manual user guide. See, for example, while you are buying your washing machine, washing machine company used to give you a manual handbook, which is going to tell, hey, pour some water here up to this particular level, switch on, press this start button here, then you press this button to do this particular setting. What are you trying to do there? You are trying to set a precedence for it, right? So that whenever an user is trying to use that machine, in this case a washing machine, the user is not embarking on an uncharted terrain or a territory. You have a navigation guide. Same thing here. A playbook is going to tell, guys, if you are going to set up a data science project, if you are going to build a data science team and then try to do a data science in an IT project, what are the checks and balances at each stage or phase of the data science life cycle, right? So for each of the phases, I have given prerequisites, input, process, output. Now you can take this article as a reference, slightly customize it into your context so that it serves the personalized needs of your customer. Okay. Okay. So I do believe I have made an honest uh, attempt over here to socialize you some of the LinkedIn articles of mine pertaining to data science in IT projects or IT engagements. Probably you can even connect with me on LinkedIn. You can also become part of that particular WhatsApp group, what I mentioned in the articles, so that as and when I make a new video, as and when I write a new article, and when I'm going to start my data science mentorship program also, if you are interested, you can might as well sign up for the program to expedite your trajectory in data science and to have a sustained momentum from there. Okay, to scale up greater heights. Okay. Also hope to see you in some other video soon, and thanks for connecting. Yeah, cheers, bye.